In this life, have you ever looked at someone who appeared slow or a bit naive and silently judged that they probably wouldn't amount to much? But in truth, time often gives the most accurate answers. Sometimes those who seem foolish are the very ones who quietly write their own incredible success stories, surprising everyone around them. You see, not all intelligent people show off their intellect, and not all talented individuals enjoy competition or bragging. There are those who appear clumsy or naive on the outside, yet within them lies a depth of wisdom that is hard to measure. In today's video, Life Wisdom invites you to explore 9 types of people who may look foolish at first glance, but are, in fact, remarkably insightful and skilled. Perhaps you'll recognize yourself, or someone quietly admirable in your life. Don't rush to leave, because each type we'll discuss holds a powerful life lesson that may help you grow wiser on your own journey through life. 1. Those who pretend to be clueless to avoid conflict. In this noisy world, there's a special kind of person. They don't compete, argue, or try to show off. Sometimes they act oblivious, as if they understand nothing. But beneath that surface, they understand everything. They simply choose silence to avoid being caught in meaningless drama. Picture a group of people gossiping, comparing each other, creating tension. The truly smart ones often become targets of jealousy. Meanwhile, those who appear absent-minded, who don't argue or offer sharp opinions, manage to stay peaceful while storms rage around them. It's like the story of Lao Tzu, who chose to leave his official position and live in seclusion, not because he was incompetent, but because he had seen through the illusions of life. The more outstanding you are, the more envy you attract. The sharper you seem, the more likely you'll be drawn into conflict. A little naivety, a bit of pretending not to know, can be supreme wisdom. In reality, those who know when to play dumb often live more peacefully. They're rarely caught up in power struggles or hurt by petty talk. They understand that not every battle is worth fighting. Sometimes, stepping back, yielding a little, staying silent with a smile, is the truest form of wisdom. On the other hand, those who constantly assert their intelligence and argue to prove a point often find themselves in opposition, and revealing too much of your sharpness may trigger jealousy and resentment. If you want peace, learn to choose when to be sharp and when to be silent. Know what to listen to and what to ignore. Know when to speak and when to simply smile and move on. That isn't weakness. It's the strength of someone who understands the value of peace and silence in a chaotic world. Pretending to be clueless doesn't mean ignorance. It means not wasting your energy on what doesn't matter. Just like water, soft and yielding, yet it wears down even the hardest stone. In this world, supreme wisdom often hides beneath a simple, innocent surface. 2. Those who take the blame to preserve harmony. To many, those who often accept blame, even when they're not clearly at fault, seem weak or lacking confidence. But behind that act lies deep understanding. Sometimes, being right isn't as important as keeping inner peace, social harmony, and a calm life. Think about the last time you argued with someone. When both sides insist on being right, no one truly wins. Only the relationship suffers. Some people understand that arguing just to satisfy the ego brings temporary pride, but long-lasting consequences. That's why they choose to take the blame. Not because they can't tell right from wrong, but because they know that winning a small argument isn't worth losing a valuable bond. Take the example of Confucius. Once, while walking, he was bumped into by a stranger who didn't apologize but instead blamed him. Confucius simply bowed, smiled, and let it go. His disciple was upset and asked why he didn't defend himself. Confucius gently replied, "The road is wide, but our hearts must be even wider. One word of dispute isn't worth narrowing my heart." That is the wisdom of someone who knows patience. They don't let ego dictate their actions or let vanity ruin harmony. In families, at work, or among friends, those who can take responsibility at the right moment understand a timeless truth. Harmony brings prosperity, good fortune, and lasting relationships. On the flip side, those who always need to be right, who dissect every situation to the smallest detail, may win arguments, but lose companionship. No one wants to be around someone who constantly judges or makes them feel wrong. The cost of always being right is the silent erosion of life's most precious relationships. So if you want a lighter, more peaceful life, learn to admit fault when needed, not because you're wrong, but because you value peace over pride. When someone dares to lower their ego and take the blame, they elevate their character and wisdom. Remember, a well-timed apology can dissolve mountains of resentment. A bit of softness today can bring thousands of blessings tomorrow. Those who yield are not weak. They have conquered their ego and gained peace in return. 3. Those who are quiet in crowds, but deep thinkers in solitude. At gatherings, they often sit silently, listen more than they speak, and avoid drawing attention. People might assume they're shy, lacking ideas, or not particularly sharp. But in truth, these individuals are often the deepest thinkers, observing, reflecting, and quietly understanding the bigger picture. They don't like to talk for the sake of talking, nor do they seek attention or applause. They believe that speech should be valuable, not just loud. In a world where people compete to be heard, the truly wise prefer to listen and observe. Their words, though few, are always meaningful and thought through. Like the ancient Chinese saying, "Silence is golden." Those who are quiet often have inner worlds richer than those who talk endlessly. In solitude, they grow. In silence, they observe human nature. And in stillness, they find answers that noisy minds often miss. Being quiet doesn't mean being weak. It means they have no need to prove themselves constantly. They speak when needed, act when necessary, and shine when it matters. 4. Those who are generous and kind, even when taken advantage of. Some people are always ready to help others, even if they receive nothing in return. They may lend money, offer time, or give emotional support without expecting anything back. Sometimes others think they're naive or too nice for their own good. But true kindness is never weakness. Those who live generously often do so with full awareness. They know they may be taken advantage of, yet they still choose kindness because they value love, humanity, and peace of mind above all. They understand that how others treat them is their karma, but how they respond is their own. In a world filled with calculation, those who act with sincerity and compassion carry a noble spirit. Eventually, life balances itself. People remember those who were there in their darkest hours, and though the kind-hearted may be hurt, they never lose their value. On the contrary, they become anchors of light and warmth in the lives of others. 5. Those who accept loss to gain something greater. They're the ones who step back when others push forward, who let go of small gains to protect bigger dreams. On the surface, they seem like they're losing, but in the long run, they're the ones who gain the most. These are people who understand the art of trade-offs. In relationships, they may give more. In business, they may yield momentarily. In conflict, they may choose peace over pride. But behind those acts of losing is a sharp mind calculating the long-term outcome. They value harmony over winning, connection over ego, and purpose over applause. Sometimes, letting go is not about giving up. It's about moving forward more wisely. 6. Those who are slow to act, but achieve lasting results. In a fast-paced world, we often admire those who move quickly, decide fast, and act boldly. But there's a group of people who move slowly, think deeply, and act only after thorough consideration. Others may see them as indecisive or hesitant, but when they act, they rarely make mistakes. Their slowness is not weakness. It's caution, patience, and a deep understanding of consequences. Like a bamboo shoot that grows slowly underground for years before shooting up overnight, these people quietly prepare, patiently build, and suddenly surprise everyone with solid, lasting success. 7. Those who laugh off offense but never forget kindness. When insulted, they smile and move on. When misunderstood, they stay calm. People think they're easygoing, maybe even foolish, but their tolerance is a sign of strength. They know what truly matters. They won't waste energy on petty insults or temporary anger. Yet, they remember every act of kindness, repay it tenfold, and never forget the people who stood by them. Their memory is selective, not for revenge, but for gratitude. They live with grace and return warmth with sincerity. That's the quiet nobility of their character. 8. Those who stay loyal even when others don't notice. These are the ones who stand behind the scenes, faithful in friendship, devoted in love, consistent in their values. They don't seek recognition or applause. Sometimes their efforts go unnoticed, but loyalty doesn't depend on attention. They remain true to their word, steady in storms, and dependable through time. Others may overlook them, but those who truly see them understand their worth. In a world of changing alliances and fleeting connections, their constancy is rare and precious. 9. Those who forgive without holding grudges. To forgive is to release anger, but to truly let go and never bring it up again requires a profound heart. Some people forgive not because they're weak, but because they understand that carrying hatred only burdens the soul. They choose peace for themselves and hope others will grow from their mistakes. Their forgiveness is not forgetfulness, it's wisdom. They don't allow the past to define them. Instead, they rise above it, choose growth, and move forward without bitterness. Conclusion. Life is full of paradoxes. Those who seem foolish on the outside may be carrying the greatest wisdom. In a world that celebrates noise, competition, and speed, the quiet, the kind, and the steady often go unnoticed until time reveals their true strength. Perhaps the wisest among us are those who don't shout, don't compete, and don't boast, because they're too busy living with depth, purpose, and peace. So if you or someone you know fits one of these types, take heart. You are not weak. You are not naive. You are simply walking a path few understand, one of silent, powerful wisdom.